wolf hunts a rabbit in the garden. Just as it prepares to pounce, Molly kicks it away. It immediately counterattacks, only to be kicked down again. For the solitary wild wolf, this is pure humiliation. Despite sensing an unknown terror, it resolves to fight desperately. But after just one encounter, wolf lies dead in a pool of blood. Not long after, Scar Bear senses danger too. Years in the wild forged its keen instincts. The invisible creature fights the strong bear evenly, observed by the hidden female lead. After fierce combat, Scar Bear triumphs, roaring skyward to mark dominance. But as it turns, the invisible creature strikes, snapping its neck. More terrifyingly, the massive bear is lifted effortlessly by this being. The woman flees in panic, plunging into the river. Ashore, she finds the tribal leader first, but her wild tale finds no believers about the bear slayer. It sounds like a tall tale, yet who dared question? 3 red dots appear on her chest, then she falls dead. Teammates fire arrows hitting the target, revealing the invisible creature. Predator and alien hunter testing on Earth. Its trials target humans and all forest beasts encountered. This foreshadows the 1715 pistol and sequels. For 17th century humans, many tribes still live in primitive conditions, but retain exceptional hunting skills. Therefore, even against this unknown creature, coordinated efforts managed to injure the hunter. Regrettably, primitive weapons, crude arms and resilient physique kept the hunter unstoppable. The heroine immediately turned and fled. Desperately, this was utterly unwise. As she raced through grassland, she met another tribesman. After brief communication, they planned a covert counterattack. Just as her teammate spotted the target and drew his bow, thinking victory was certain, the predator had already locked on with thermal beams, silently targeting him. Then the heroine, having witnessed the red beam's deadly power, swiftly pulled her teammate to safety. Both fled for their lives, but their speed proved no match. The slower teammate met a grim fate. The heroine kept sprinting, unexpectedly tumbling down. She stepped into a hunting trap. This device was foreign to her tribe. Seeing this, the predator, deeming it unchallenging, turned and left immediately. Soon 4 armed men appeared, suggesting they had set the trap. When the heroine awoke, she and her brother were tied to a tree. Surveying the barren surroundings, she realized they were being used as bait. These French hunters were tracking game here. They unexpectedly discovered traces of the predator. Thinking they could capture it alive for a huge profit, they remained unaware they were becoming the prey themselves. By the time they sensed something wrong, it was too late. Soon, these hidden hunters suffered over 50% casualties. Wind howled fiercely. The predator slowly appeared within the gloomy graveyard. Dark humanoid claw revealed its terrifying nature. As it slowly moved towards the heroine, to capture the predator, the hunters had set multiple traps nearby. After tripping the predator, 2 others were casting net. Just as they became smug, thinking they had succeeded, 2 hunters had their heads impaled. Such netting couldn't restrain it. Next, through a high-tech alloy net, trapped hunters were instantly sliced into molecules. High-tech gear useless. Against 17th century humans, the predator moved effortlessly. Every motion ended a human life. Beyond offensive weapons, it wielded retractable adamantium shields, blocking musket fire. Effortlessly, offense and defense combined. Tree gets chopped. This terrified hunter was even more doomed. He fired point blank at the predator's head, but got headshot by the ricocheted bullet. Perhaps finding this dull, the predator activated its gauntlet, entered specific coordinates, then left. Meanwhile, bound, the heroine and her brother used nearby animal traps to break free. Departed silently. The remaining hunters were confused. They stared at the gauntlet device left by the predator. 3 discs flew out from the device, hovering devices, then scattered and exploded the entire area in a triangular pattern. Elsewhere, the predator took out his first aid kit. After briefly tending his wounds, he began a new hunt. The protagonist encountered a surviving French hunter, but he was severely wounded. He offered his firearm in exchange for medical treatment. When tribe members suffered grave injuries, they used this cooling plant. It temporarily lowers body temperature, slowing blood circulation to prevent excessive blood loss. Suddenly, the protagonist heard someone approaching. The predator must have tracked them. Staying meant certain death. The abandoned man sensed danger. He activated the device. The predator deactivated his cloaking. Scanning for heat signatures. Fortunately, the man had taken the cooling plant, avoiding detection by thermal imaging. No, the protagonist noticed this. The miserable French hunter then thought he had escaped, but as the predator departed, he stepped on the man's broken leg, and the man lost his life. Then, the protagonist's trusty dog came running. The predator aimed to shoot the dog. The protagonist almost intervened. Suddenly, her brother attacked from behind, disabling the laser sight. The predator fired an arrow, but the arrow homed in on the laser signature at the place he aimed. But the consecutive shots missed repeatedly. The predator regained its focus and retrieved, picked up its helmet, put it on, and simultaneously blocked her brother's attack. The female protagonist risked danger, shouting repeatedly to distract the predator. Her brother leaped mid-air and struck with a spear unexpectedly, piercing the predator's chest, then delivered a sword thrust to its back. The predator endured the pain and pulled out the spear. Its falling body, continuously moving near the predator, and pulled out the fired arrows and used them again. Just like this, the predator was skewered back and forth by an arrow, left unable to defend effectively, unable to endure it further. It activated its cloaking device. The opponent fought dishonorably, enraging her brother greatly. He knew, with such a massive disparity in equipment, even the strongest combat skills meant certain death. Right now, he only wanted his sister to escape, spending his last ounce of strength to create a chance of survival for her. The female protagonist escaped. Later she washed at the river. Looking at the blood on her hands, she vowed to avenge her brother. She spotted a surviving French hunter opposite her who remained. Very soon, formed in her mind, she knocked out the hunter and severed his legs, then calmly slit his skin and lit a bonfire, quietly waiting for the predator to arrive. As expected, the predator was indeed lured over by the signal fire. The heroine took the cold-suppressing herb, undetected by the predator. While it was claiming victims, she shot off its helmet with her pistol, then grabbed the helmet and fled, and placed it at the pre-scouted location. When the predator reacted, she leapt down from the tree again, wielding her dagger. Her husband fled desperately, and was immediately thrown down. Then, she deliberately lured the predator after her, using pre-rigged spiked traps. They injured and trapped the predator. The heroine doubled back, grabbing its spear. Enraged by the trickery, the predator charged. Its wrist jammed into a tree trunk. She swung the spear but its shield deflected the strike and severed her weapon. She pressed her attack, but even one-handed the predator overpowered her. It quickly pinned her down. At the crucial moment, she kicked backward using a crevice in the rock, avoiding a killing blow. But the predator's strength was immense. The rock couldn't contain its power. Pinned beneath its assault, she mustered explosive strength, ripping out one of its tusks, and finally escaped. Planning her next move, she saw Buddy bringing her battle axe. Slide sliced the predator's leg. Then she jumped onto its arm. She wraps the axe rope around its arm. Summoning every ounce of strength, she drags it into the swamp. This is her final plan. The battle isn't over. The predator rises from the swamp. Immobilized but not defeated, it activates its wrist blades in furious rage. Forgotten in its fury, its helmet lies discarded. Unable to trigger, his infrared targeting locked on, directly at her head. But this was the heroine's true final trap. The blade fires with blinding speed, veering sharply mid-air, piercing the predator's skull. Facing this primitive tribe from centuries past, the technologically superior predator met its end by underestimating her intellect. At dawn, the heroine returns with the predator's head, not just avenging her people, but becoming the tribe's greatest warrior. The pistol becomes her signature weapon. Clearly sometime later, new predators arrive for their ritual hunt. She ultimately falls to one hunter, a hunter who claims her ascends to elder status. Her pistol remains among his trophies, passed down to the hero of Predator 2.